Because we had to go to the theater. Elvis used to rent out the theater at midnight when everybody had gone, and he would screen movies until 4 or 5 a.m. And so I thought, well, that's a strange hour, so we're just going to park really close in case we need to make a quick getaway. So we parked outside at midnight and went in, and David Stanley, his stepbrother, was standing there talking to us, and Elvis, we heard somebody knock on the door really loudly, and the door, somebody went and got the door, and the door flung open, and Elvis is standing there in a black suede cape with a high collar, red satin lining on the cape, black pants with a red insert in the flare. And he has this long flashlight, and he's flashing around. He says, "Who the hell locked this door?" I was coming in this way, and they were all going, "Oh, boss, we're sorry. We thought you were going to come in the front door." "No, hell no, I wanted to come in this door." And he's like yelling at everybody. And then he flashes the light in my face and says, "Well, hello, honey." His whole demeanor changed, and then the gentleman, Elvis, walked over to me and said, "How do you do?" And I thought he was still married, so I had no designs at all, or, you know, I was just like happy to meet my idol. And then he came and sat next to me in the movie theater, just kind of plopped down after the movie had started. And I was kind of like, okay, this may not be on the up and up. So he started pulling the old yawn, put the hand around the seat, and I remember like, and Jeannie LeMay was like almost breaking my ribs. She was like ah! And he started kind of like nuzzling me and stuff, and I said, "Jeannie, we have to go, we're leaving." He said, "Honey, you know I'm not married anymore, don't you?" And I said, "Well, no." "Really?" So he said, "No, I've been separated since the end of the year, since December or January." He said, "And we're getting a divorce, and you know, she's met someone else, and she's moved on." And I said, "Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear that, but you know, you should have married a Southern girl." And he never forgot that. I know, isn't that crazy? He never forgot that, though. He said, "You're absolutely right," because he and I did grow up with the same values, the same cuisine, the same familial love, the same importance put on family and home, you know, and the fire and all that. So he, you know, he got it, that he should have married maybe someone that had more of his same spirit and upbringing and understood him maybe a little better.
You two probably connected on that wavelength right away.
We were kindred spirits. We were like, I know soulmates is way overused, but Elvis and I truly were kindred spirits. We absolutely got each other. You know, we understood each other. It was like we had known each other, pardon me, all our lives. Pardon me, that's him. A little frog in my throat. It was that as if we had known each other all our lives, because we essentially had. We kind of grew up in the same way, and so we understood the ins and outs and the nuances of each other.
Sure. It's like meeting a long-lost friend right there, or a relative. Yeah, that's beautiful. Right, and so that first day, you're at the movie theater, that evening, and did you kiss him the first day?
I might have.
You might have. I don't think any of us blame you for that.
We might have made out a little bit after I found out he wasn't married. Yeah, we did. You know, we sat there and we talked, and we interrupted everybody else's movie watching, and we talked and we kissed and we talked some more and we kissed some more, and I, you know, he said, "Well, you know, I want to see you. Can I get your number?" And I was still trying to play it coy, I think, with beard burn. Not too coy.
Yeah, stubbly.
Yeah, yeah.
That's cool.
After a couple of hours, there were two features. Neither of us ever remembered what was playing because we didn't pay attention to the movie. We were talking, and you know.
The movie doesn't matter anymore at that point,
no.
Right?
So I made him do the work, which I didn't realize was very uncommon for him, because Joe Esposito, you know, did everything for him, made all the phone calls, did everything. So I said, "Well, I don't have a pen or a piece of paper to write my number down." And he said, "Well, I'll get something." And it's so funny, he got a matchbook, and he actually wrote it down himself, my phone number. I was staying with my Aunt Betty Sue, and so he wrote down Aunt Betty's number. And as we were leaving, as Jeannie and I were leaving, I said, what kind of idiot am I that I didn't just write down in big, bold numbers what my number was and put it in his pocket. So he's not going to call me. He may not have even written the number down right. So I was kicking myself all the way back to Aunt Betty's house, and it was like 4 a.m. by the time we got back there. And Aunt Betty met us at the door. She was awake. She said, well, did you meet him? Because she had grown up, you know, as a big Elvis fan as well. And Jeannie said, not only did she meet him, you know, she was kissing him, he was kissing her, he's not married anymore, he really likes her, he wants to see her again. And because he had said, I want you to come to Graceland tomorrow night, I want you to meet my dad. And the phone's ringing, and it was Elvis. And my Aunt Betty went to the phone and she said, hello, and she still talks this way, by the way. She's 84. She said, hello, why hi Elvis. Why, it's nice to hear your voice. Yes, Linda's right here. She sure is. Well, Elvis, hon, I'm going to get Linda for you. Hold on just 1 minute. It's Elvis Presley. I just talked to Elvis. I said, sure, Aunt Betty, shh. So I go to the phone, and you know, apparently I didn't know then that he took prescription sleeping aids. But he sounded like sleepy, and you know, I said, are you tired? Were you drinking? And he said, no, honey, I don't drink. And he didn't. And he said, I don't drink. And he said, I'm just wanted to tell you how happy I am that I met you tonight, and I want to see you. I want you to come to Graceland tomorrow night and meet my daddy. And where have you been all my life? And I've been looking for somebody like you my whole life. He was like going on, and I said, okay, well, I'll be there tomorrow night. So Jeannie and I went to Graceland the following night, and I met his dad, and you know, he was just such a respectful gentleman. He was really an old-fashioned, respectful Southern gentleman.
What was it like being at Graceland that first time, going from having that autograph signed at the gates, 10 years earlier,
to having the gates open.
To having the gates open for you. What was it like going up to the house and walking in?
Yeah, it was a little surreal, as you can all imagine, because you're all wonderful devotees of Elvis. To have those gates open and be welcomed up that long winding road to the columns and, you know, the beautiful facade that was Graceland. And the door opened, and Vernon, you know, was there and answered the door and brought us into what's now the Jungle Room, but at that time it was just a TV room. And Elvis was, you know, waiting for me, and you know, he wouldn't, when Elvis would sit, he didn't ever sit still. It was like just something was always moving, and it was always like moving, and he was like. So Elvis introduced me to his dad again, and we sat and talked for a while, and Red West was there, and I brought Jeannie with me because, of course, I wasn't going to go by myself, being a proper young girl. So I took Jeannie with me, and we went for rides on the golf cart. He had he had like 14 acres, I think, at Graceland, and in the back area, there used to be corn. They used to grow corn there, and so we call them the corn rows because there were still the indentations and the divots left in the earth from the corn rows, and we would take the golf carts over those corn rows and just, you know, knock our teeth out. But that was fun for him, and Jeannie and Red rode on the back, and he and I rode around, and then we went upstairs. He said, I want to take Linda upstairs and show her my bedroom, and Jeannie said, well, I'm coming too then. He says, no, I'd like to have some time alone with Linda. And I totally trusted him, and he was a perfect gentleman. We went up to the bedroom and sat on the bed, and he pulled out all these books, Paramahansa Yogananda, books on Christianity, books on all different types of religion and philosophy. It's because he was a voracious reader, and he wanted to learn about life and the meaning and the purpose of life and religions of the world, and you know, he wanted to connect with people in the world and understand what motivated people. And so we read those books together. We talked about the Bible. We had the Bible there too, and had my upbringing, you know, adhering to the Bible and biblical teachings, and so it was really bonding. And then I had to go because Aunt Betty and the family, we were all going down to Gulf Shores, Alabama for a vacation, and I disappeared for 2 weeks. So
tell me about those